Hi, a warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to Becoming Better, the channel that shares knowledge on comprehensive personal development through great books. Every day, all of us participate in economic activities, yet for most people, economics remains something abstract, dry, and difficult to understand. But today, Becoming Better will share with you a book on economics that is incredibly lively and accessible. It's called How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes by Peter Schiff. I'll break down the contents and knowledge from this book in the quickest, most understandable way possible, and I'll also share 3 tips to help you improve your personal financial situation swiftly. Let's get started. The book begins with a story like this. On a small island, there were 3 men, Abel, Baker, and Charlie. Food on the island was scarce, with fish being the primary source of sustenance. Every day, they had to catch fish with their bare hands, as they had no tools, and each man could only catch 1 fish to eat. Life on the island was tough. Apart from fishing to fill their stomachs, there were no other activities or entertainment. Among the 3, Abel was a man with many dreams. He wanted a stylish coat, a house to protect him from the sun and rain, and he even dreamed of one day becoming a filmmaker. One day, while pondering these dreams, Abel suddenly had an idea. He would make a fishing net. But to create this net, Abel had to make a sacrifice. He'd have to skip fishing the next day and endure hunger, as well as the ridicule of Baker and Charlie. However, those mockeries didn't matter to Abel. At that moment, Abel's resolve was unshakable. Much like the saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." Indeed, when an idea strikes, determination is what brings success. And so, as with any sacrifice, it eventually paid off. Abel successfully crafted a fishing net, allowing him to catch more fish in less time. The remaining free time allowed Abel to rest and pursue his dreams. Abel's fishing net was his capital. This story encourages us to reflect on the relationship between capital and risk, teaching us an economic principle for improving our quality of life. To create capital, one must be courageous enough to take risks. To make the fishing net, Abel had to sacrifice a day of fishing and endure hunger. Moreover, creating a fishing net isn't easy, and there's a chance it could fail. Perhaps only 3 out of every 100 people who attempt to make a net would succeed. To bring this concept into real life, consider this example. You want to start a blog or a website to generate passive income. But initially, you'll need to spend a long time building it. Maybe a month, 2 months, or even a year. During this time, you won't have any income and you won't know if you'll succeed. So, are you willing to take that risk? But when you do succeed, the results can be substantial. The key is to be willing to take risks and then stay committed to the end. Now let's return to our story. Abel successfully made the fishing net, and his future looked bright. But what about the other 2? Are we creating a system of wealth inequality? Not exactly. Abel's invention brought many benefits to everyone on the island. Let's see what happened next. The next day, Baker and Charlie saw that Abel had more fish and was able to relax all day. Seeing this, they were tempted and immediately thought about borrowing the fishing net. But Abel wasn't entirely trusting of them and suggested that they make their own nets instead. However, Baker and Charlie were worried. What if they failed and ended up starving? So they negotiated with Abel, asking if he could lend them a fish so they could have time to make their nets while still having food to eat. Once they caught fish with their nets, they would repay Abel with double the amount. This is the moment when financial thinking was born. Baker borrowed 1 fish from Abel and would repay him with 2 fish. In other words, Abel used his fish savings as capital to start investing, beginning his journey into lending. As time passed, the island's inhabitants created more and more fishing nets, and life on the island became more leisurely. People had more time for relaxation and entertainment. Some began striving to catch more fish, create savings accounts, and start businesses or schools. Others, who didn't want to start businesses but still wanted to invest to get more fish, wondered what to do. This is how the fish bank came to be. The bank offered interest rates for people to deposit their unused fish, which the bank would then invest. The bank operated with integrity and made safe investments, so people felt secure depositing their fish savings to earn interest and live comfortably. However, alongside the island's economic growth, The opportunities for profit increased, and so did the number of dishonest people. Some started banks offering high returns with high risks. This led to the emergence of a government to regulate market interest rates by printing money to replace fish. However, on the flip side, the fish supply became scarcer and fish grew smaller. No longer could one fish feed a person for a day. This led to inflation. Simply put, the government printed too much money, but the number of fish remained limited, causing the price of fish to soar. The island's economy worsened despite appearing more prosperous on the surface. The value of the money in people's pockets decreased, housing prices skyrocketed, debt accumulated, and the threat of unrest became imminent. At first, it seemed that the people who once struggled to catch fish with their bare hands and lived in hardship would now have a better life. But that wasn't the case. After generations of development, the lives of the islanders simply fell into a different kind of hardship. And that's where our story ends. Now, let's explore what this book is trying to convey to us. In reality, there are two opposing schools of economic thought. The shirt school and the horn school. The shirt school advocates for free and open markets where everything should be based on individual needs. On the other hand, the horn school believes that the market should be unified and controlled by the government to avoid excessive economic fluctuations. If we look at this from our everyday life perspective, we can simplify it like this. The shirt school argues that the interest rates on savings in the market should not be controlled. The higher the interest rates, the more motivated people will be to save money, which then leads to more capital for investment and, consequently, an increase in the country's production capacity. The horn school, however, believes that savings interest rates should be controlled because if interest rates are too high, everyone will want to save money rather than spend it. This lack of consumption would lead to reduced business investment and increased unemployment. The author of this book aligns with the shirt school of economics. Naturally, one of the purposes of writing this book is to emphasize the principles of the shirt school. The parable about the island's economy also serves to argue against the horn school, so the content of the book may come across as a bit biased. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a bias against the shirt school. If I were to compare these two schools, personally, I lean more towards the shirt school because its principles are more aligned with personal financial growth. The shirt school encourages us to save more and accumulate personal wealth. If there are good investment opportunities in the market, we should continue to invest to generate more wealth. However, a completely free market isn't necessarily a good thing. For example, if the market takes a severe downturn and businesses have to lay off a large number of workers, should the government step in? Or if savings interest rates are too high and consumer spending decreases, what will businesses do? These issues aren't something that can be resolved overnight. If you're finding this a bit abstract, imagine this scenario. If you unfortunately fall ill, you have two options. The first option is to recover naturally. The end result could be very positive, but during the recovery process, you'll suffer a lot. You might have to endure a long period of unemployment with no income. The second option is to take medication. The recovery time will be long, and during this period, the side effects of the medication might make you feel less alert, and it could even leave you with some lasting effects. Which option would you choose? If you choose to recover naturally, that aligns with the shirt school as described in this book. If you choose to take medication, then you're leaning towards the horn school. And now let's move on to the final part, the most important part I want to share with you. How can this book help us in personal financial development? I'll share 3 key takeaways with you. First, accumulating wealth requires capital. To accumulate wealth, you need capital. And to have capital, you must be willing to delay consumption. Remember Abel from the story? To make the fishing net, he had to go a day without food. That's delaying consumption. For us, saving money is the most practical way to build capital. Once you have capital, you can invest it. For example, during the pandemic, you wouldn't have to worry about having no money to live on. Additionally, with some financial security, you can fully focus on starting a business or pursuing other goals. On a broader scale, your ability to work is also capital. Your knowledge is capital. Your capacity to increase productivity is capital. As long as you can generate more income over a fixed period, that's capital too. Second, a person's spending power depends on their production value. In economics, markets are often analyzed through the lens of supply and demand. This concept applies to personal finance as well. The value you bring to your workplace represents supply, while demand is how much you can take back from that environment. The difference between supply and demand is the wealth you accumulate. Therefore, if you want to accumulate more wealth, you must increase your work value. However, this value is, unfortunately, largely determined by the market and can change. A skill that's in high demand today might be replaced by something else next year. That's why it's crucial to regularly reassess your work value and make adjustments or upgrades to your skills to stay competitive. Third, pursue your dreams and take risks, but don't push yourself too hard. In the story, Abel went a day without food to make the fishing net, but in reality, it's not that simple. Pursuing your dreams can sometimes take many years. If during those years, even your basic survival becomes difficult, you should reconsider your approach. Over-pursuing your dreams can be harmful. As the saying goes, pushing too hard can lead to breaking. When faced with difficulties, our brains often trigger survival instincts, making us grab at any opportunity that comes our way, which could lead to a poor decision and regret. To pursue your dreams, you need passion, but passion alone isn't enough. You also need a solid plan, the right strategy, persistence, and a willingness to make sacrifices. Remember, on the journey to achieving your dreams, always ensure you're well prepared for the road ahead. So that's everything I wanted to share with you today. I hope that when it comes to understanding economics or anything in life, we need to have a multidimensional perspective. Not every theory is absolute, and not every theory is suitable for everyone. However, studying economics can help us better understand what's happening in the world. As the saying goes, a penny saved is a penny earned. Taking things seriously will ensure you don't lose out. If you find this video by becoming better helpful, don't hesitate to give it a like, share it with others who need to learn about this, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, sign up for my channel, and turn on the notification bell to catch the latest videos every Wednesday and Saturday. If you have any perspectives you'd like to share, please leave a comment below and we can discuss together. Thank you, and see you in the next video.